Alright guys, the title for today's notes is solving for a variable. These are done in your own piece of paper, so make sure you get some paper. A lot of you are not, like, you're borrowing paper, so make sure you're actually bringing paper to school so you can use, because otherwise you get, like, random copy paper, which is no good. Okay? The first thing we're going to go over, I don't want you to write down, I just want you to watch. It's stuff you already know. Okay? And there's a purpose of me doing this, I just want to show you. What we know how to solve for a letter, right? So we draw our line. X is your x, 2 is your best friend. I take out this guy. The opposite of adding 2 is subtracting 2. This is something that we've been doing forever. 14 minus 2 is 12. And then you divide by 2, correct? So this is something that we already know how to do. And we're going to extend this further today to do something else. So this is something that we know, okay? Here's another thing that we know. Remember when we've done perimeter and we had to combine like terms? So this would be 2x. And that would be 3x plus 2. But don't you remember that you can only combine what looks alike? Like here I can only add up the x's first, right? That's something that we've done before. So 3 plus 3 is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 x's. And then I can combine the other stuff. So 2 plus 2 is a positive 4. And I write them side by side. So we've done this before as well, where you had to combine like terms and write things side by side. That'll come into play in a little bit, alright? What we're going to do today is we're going to solve like we've been doing forever, except for now we're going to have 2 letters. Okay? Some of you have already done this in your algebra classes, some of you haven't, or some of you have done it but you have no idea how to do it. So, go ahead and write that down, and then write to the side, solve for B. Okay, so let me just explain this. First thing that we always do is draw our line. So here's how we do this stuff. Please ask questions when at the point that you get confused, okay? So you're normally the letter, right? Well, there's 2 letters here, so I don't know who to be. But when it tells me, it's going to tell you to what to solve for. So this says solve for B. Well, that means that I am B, okay? So whatever it tells me to solve for, that's who I am. I'm B. Now, you're B. Who's your best friend? Well, this negative 2 is. Who am I kicking out? I'm kicking out the 4A, the whole thing, okay? The opposite of a positive 4A is negative 4A. This is stuff that we've done before. Well, not with the A, but you know what I mean? Like, we've done this before. You do the opposite, you bring it over. Okay? This goes away. Negative 2B comes down. Here is really the only new step. Okay? A lot of y'all are going to want to do 20 minus 4 and get 16. And that is not correct. And here's why. This is an A. Is that 20 an A? And no, it's not. You cannot subtract them. Just like here, you couldn't add the 3 and this 2 because they're different. Okay? You had to write them side by side. Same thing here. These are different. You cannot subtract them, so you have to write them side by side. It does not matter which one you put first. You could bring down 20 and then put minus 4A, or you could put negative 4A and then a positive 20. It doesn't matter which one goes first. Math people, we tend to put the letter first. So I'll show you both ways, but right now I'm going to put the letter first. So I'm going to write negative 4A. And since it's a positive 20, I'm going to put plus 20. Okay? Then I'm even going to make a note of what that step is. You write them side by side. The order does not matter at all. Okay? And then the last thing is you have to get rid of best friend, right? Side by side means multiplied. The opposite of multiplying is dividing, correct? But now there's 2 numbers, so you have to divide everything by that number. Okay? So that goes away. Negative 4 divided by negative 2 is a positive 2. So 2A. And the A comes down. And this is a positive 20, so positive 20 divided by negative 2 is a negative 10. Okay? And that is your weird answer. Now, I know this doesn't really make sense why you're doing this, but it will starting maybe like Wednesday, Thursday when we get into something else. This skill right here of solving for a letter when there's 2 different letters is a top 5 algebra skill. You have to know how to do it. Okay, and we'll slowly get in there. It's going to be weird at first, but it's a non-negotiable. You have to know. Okay, let's do another one. So write that down, and then put solve for y. Pause it if you need to. If not, we're moving on. We draw our line. So we're solving for y. So I'm y. 3 is my best friend. I'm kicking out 18. The opposite of adding 18, or sorry, the opposite of subtracting 18 is adding 18. Okay, these go away. I'm left with 3y. Now, some of y'all are going to do 3 plus 18 and get, 21 or whatever it is. No, do not do that. This is an x, and this is an 18. There's no x here, it's a constant. So you cannot add them, they're different. You have to write them side by side. It doesn't matter which goes first. I'm going to put the 3x first. So I'm just going to put 3x, and I'm going to put plus 18. You write them side by side. It doesn't matter. You could have put 18 plus 3x. It doesn't matter. Your y, 3 is my best friend. Side by side means multiplied. The opposite is dividing. Okay. 3 divided by 3, just to let you know, is 1. So 1x. Positive 18 divided by 3 is a positive 6. And then 1. Okay. I know it's weird. It's definitely weird, but all you're doing is you're solving just like you used to. The only new step is this thing right here, the side by side. All right, you're going to see a couple different examples. Just follow with me, write them down because they're important. All right, draw your line, pause, draw your line here. What I don't want you to do is forget the old stuff. This is the old stuff because here there's only one letter, okay? So here there's 2 letters. Here there's 1 letter. So this is what you already know, no problem. Your x, negative 3 is your best friend, get rid of 5. The opposite of positive 5 is negative 5. Okay, that goes away. I'm left with negative 3x. And here's why it's different. 11 minus 5. You can do that because there's no a's or x's or y. There's no letters here. They're just numbers, so I can actually subtract them. 11 minus 5 is 6. Okay? So that's the difference. Here, you could not add because that's an x and that's not. You put them side by side. Here, you could subtract because they're both just numbers. Okay? Then we divide by negative 3. 6 divided by negative 3, just to let you know, is negative 2. Okay? So don't forget how to do the easy ones because now we're learning how to do the harder ones. Alright, just a couple left. 2 left, actually. So, write it down, pause if you need to, solve for w, draw your line. This one's actually really easy, but y'all haven't done it yet, but people tend to forget how to do it. So, I'm w. Choose my best friend. I'm not hanging out with anyone else because everyone else is gone. So, all I have to do is get rid of the 2. Side by side means multiplied. The opposite of multiplying is dividing by 2. Okay? Goes away. W equals 16 divided by 2 is 8. Okay? And a positive 24 divided by 2 is a positive 12. And then the x comes down. And that's it. I can't actually add these things because that's an x and that's not. I can't add them. That's as far as I can go. Alright? I know it's kind of weird. We're going to practice today and tomorrow. Yeah. Okay? Good? Alright, last one. You are normally not, or pause if you need to. We're going to be solving for x. You're normally not going to see ones like this, but you never know, so we're going to do it anyway. Alright, so we're solving for x, correct? So I'm x, 10's my best friend, I'm getting rid of 4. The opposite of adding 4 is subtracting 4. Now, are you going to write the 4 underneath the y or underneath the 14? And in your head, you should say, I'm going to write it underneath the 14 because these are both just regular numbers, constants. They don't have any letters with them. Okay? So I wouldn't put it underneath the y because there is no y there. Alright, so 10x comes down. 40y comes down because there's no y situation going on right now. And then can I actually subtract these things? And the answer is yes, you can because they're both just numbers. And 14, a positive 14 minus 4 is a positive 10. Okay? So you can't subtract them because they're both just numbers. Then I have to get rid of best friend, so I divide by 10. Okay? 40 divided by 10 is just a 4. Don't forget your letter, the Y. A lot of y'all will forget to write your letters. Be very careful there. And then positive 10 divided by 10 is a positive 1.